Hi dreamer, welcome to London. In this video, I am in London and I'm bringing you along with me. This time I'm staying on the South Bank. Never stayed in this area before. I'm staying in a 3-bedroom, 1-bath flat that was actually a pretty reasonable rate. And upon first inspection, I think it's pretty good. Let me show you around. So I'll go through all of the bedrooms first. Whenever you walk in, there's a long hallway, and then you have 3 pretty good sized bedrooms for London. Big cabinet, and then the real reason why we booked this room is that it had a desk and a real office chair. Surprisingly hard to find. So then we have 2 bedrooms on either side. This is probably the smallest one, but it still has like a good sized storage in it, lots of shelving, and it has like windows that you could walk out onto the balcony or for like air if you wanted. We're here in the winter. It's pretty cold. We probably won't use that, but it's nice to have. I also think that this place seems pretty clean. I haven't really found any particular dirt or anything. This is probably the largest of the bedrooms and definitely seems to be more of like the master, really for no other reason than the bed has enough room to be centered in the room, but also has a lot of storage and a mini desk, just no real chair with it. So then I'm going to take you further down the hallway, and this gets into the more living quarters. First off, this massive living room. I've been all over Europe, and maybe in Italy I might have stayed in a flat this size, but this is huge. I mean, a 6-person table, pretty big. 2 couches. You couldn't ask for more. It's really nice. Lots of natural light. Pretty happy with it. This is just a storage closet, not really much to see there. And then you have a tiny bathroom here. For a 3-bedroom flat, it would be nice that it had a second bathroom, but it's not bad. It does have a full-size shower, and it is pretty clean. There's not like a whole lot of mold or mildew. There's just a little bit around, but pretty good for an Airbnb. I will say the toilet has this weird ill-fitting bowl, and I do think that that is probably the one major problem that I've seen with this apartment so far. Not a deal breaker, obviously, but just something to kind of note. Then the kitchen is like doored off. I think they would do well to remove this door. I think it kind of breaks up the flow. Other than that, though, you have a European-sized fridge and really like a whole lot of leg space. Like, this is a big kitchen here. So you could easily fit a couple people in here like cooking, and there's really nothing really wrong with it. It's pretty spotlessly clean, and I love the view out of it because you got the old London and then like the modern in the background. Really beautiful. Pretty happy with it. Whenever we checked in this afternoon, we went grocery shopping, so I thought I would give you a quick haul of that. We wanted to get some essentials. We're here for like 9 days, and I'm going to bring you along for all of it, either in this video or many London videos to come. So let's get this haul going, and then I need to unpack so I can get this trip started. Let's go. Okay, so grocery haul time, London edition. We went to M&S Foods because it was close, and we spent £42, 15 pence. I think it's pence here. And I'll just do this in quick order, otherwise this video is going to be huge. I have 8 cheese and bacon egg bites, raspberries. These look really nice. I also like the description on them. It says sweet and jammy. It's kind of fun. And some individually packaged yogurts. I don't really do the yogurts, but Brett has one almost every day. These are more for him with the raspberries and this store brand granola. Then I know that I have said in the past that these are not my favorite. However, Brad has developed a taste for them, and so we got a package of digestives and some soft eating apricots. And then for like some other snacks, I got some like pesto mozzarella. This looks really good. It's all like marinated on the bottom. Tasty, tasty, tasty. Some feta dip. This, I'm not sure if it looks good or if it looks like nasty, but I'm gonna give it a try. I love feta. And because I needed something to eat that dip with, I got some carrot sticks. These look pretty good. Morning espresso. There's a little Nespresso maker over here, so I got pods for that. We got the Italian style. Looks pretty good. And cream for that. And there's a milk frother over there. Really excited about that. Great addition. Then I have a CBD infused beverage to hopefully help me get to sleep tonight, and a lemon lime and ginger beer sparkling beverage, and some raspberry kombucha. We love kombucha, so we always like to try it whenever we're on the road, and some tampons. Obvious. Yeah, that's the haul for today, and probably won't have too much to report. I'll bring you to dinner with us so you can see where we end up. Probably something nice and comforting and easy for our long, tired, jet-lagged selves. I'll see you tomorrow. I'm standing outside the aquarium. I thought I would kind of catch you up on what has been going on. Last night we ended up at a fish and chips restaurant, and it was actually really, really good. I really liked it. And then we ended up at a pub because we were trying to stay up till 10 to get back on a normal schedule. Pub was only okay. I didn't really like the ale that I had. This morning we went to the Sea Life Aquarium, and then we had brunch. And it was really, really good. I think it was called like the Black Penny or something like that. And all of our food was really, really good. So highly recommend that. Now we are off to get a sweet treat. Okay, it's been almost a full day since I talked to you. I talked to you this morning whenever we got out of the aquarium, which to me was only like so-so, in my personal opinion. And then we went to get some Humble Crumble. It was delicious as always, but that location in Covent Garden isn't the best because there's nowhere to sit, and it was pouring rain. There was a food market across the street, and we went in there and they threw us out for eating something that didn't come from that food market. So kind of sucked. But then while we were in the food market, we seen a rotating cheese bar, and we stopped for that and a glass of wine. Now we have went a decent amount farther out, and we are at the Sky Garden. We made dinner reservations so we didn't have to worry about getting tickets. That's kind of a hack. So if you want to visit the Sky Garden and you can't get tickets, just make a dinner reservation. So we're gonna eat at Fern Church, I believe it's called, and enjoy the view. If you've ever been here, the views are truly incredible. Definitely think you should go. Hey, I believe that the last time I picked up the vlog was at the Sky Garden. I don't know if I've talked to you guys since then or not, but I really enjoyed dinner that night. It was very different, I would say. It had like a lot of really unique like combinations of like flavors, and I thought the view was really good. So I do recommend the Sky Garden. I think it was good. I would definitely go back, especially for like cocktails or something in the summer. It was pretty cold in there. The Fern Church place that we were in was heated, but it was like the only part of it. The rest of it was like really, really cold. I don't think I could have stayed at the bar and like had a drink out in the main area. I think I would have froze, which has pretty well been the standard since I came here, is that I am pretty cold all of the time. My blood's used to the little bit of Florida, and so I've been struggling a little bit. I'm getting ready today. It's actually been, I guess, like 24 hours since I talked to you because I had a whole day. So I'm getting ready Wednesday morning. Yesterday, we took a tour and we seen the city of Bath, which was amazing. Much more like a European town than a UK one. Like almost like a little Italian town even. Like I really, really loved it. The architecture was beautiful. Streets were beautiful. I loved it all. The Roman baths were really great. I would definitely allow almost a full day for Bath if you want to visit. We were there for about 3 hours. That included lunch and a tour of the Roman baths. That wasn't really enough. We also went on a tour of Stonehenge as part of that tour, and that was good to see that again. Can't really see that too much. And that was pretty well yesterday. We had dinner at a steakhouse where you kind of like sear your own steak, and that was really fun. And the meal was pretty good. So that was just happened to be where we dropped off. It wasn't on my list of places to go or anything that I particularly wanted, but it was convenient since they dropped us off so late. Today's plan I am getting ready for is we're going thrifting slash antiquing. Thrifting over here is called like charity shopping, I think. Like, or maybe it is called thrifting, but it's at places that aren't called thrift stores. They're called charity shops. So we're going to charity shops and antique stores. And I've never been in an antique store, at least one outside of Portobello Market whenever I first came to London several years ago. So I'm curious what that's gonna be like. I'm hoping it's gonna be kind of like reasonable. It's not gonna be like, I don't know, centuries old, priceless antiques that I can't afford, but we'll see. And then I hope to hit up Camden Market. Camden Market is actually like the largest market in London. I've been to Borough Market. I actually did a video about Borough Market and I loved it. I thought it was really, really fun. So I'm excited to see what like Camden Market has to offer. Camden's supposed to have like much more like shopping, not just food. So that should be pretty good. I think I'm gonna put that in like a separate video because it's just going to be like too long. I'm kind of splitting up a lot of the actual activities into their own separate videos, and this is much more a general overview of the day and also including what I ate, because I always like to see that in other people's vlogs. But I'm going to finish my hair and then kind of set off for the day. We went out for breakfast at a place called Balance, which is here in the like kind of the Waterloo area, and I didn't particularly like it, but it looks like it would be really good for like lunch. It has a lot of salads and sandwiches and it looks really fresh. Service there was actually really good. I don't not recommend it. It wasn't like the best for brunch, since our brunch the other day was like so amazing. It kind of set the bar pretty high, and maybe we should have just went back there, but so it was fun to kind of try a new place. I will check in with you later though. Tonight, I think we're gonna go to an F1 arcade. That's the tentative plan, and I'll probably bring you along there if we end up doing that. So catch up with you later. So last I talked to you, I was headed out for the day in London to do some antiquing. Antiquing didn't go quite as I thought it would. There's a lot of really beautiful old things in London that are hard to bring back to the US and also very expensive. So later that day I ended up at the Camden Market, and I'd never been before. It's actually the largest market in London. I highly recommend you go, especially if you like shopping. They have tons of products there. Found lots of really interesting interesting things. And also the history of the market is really interesting. I especially enjoyed the old horse stalls. Some of them are still there and there's little shops in there. Really cool. The next day didn't amount to a whole lot. We did end up at F1, and that place is starting to migrate to America. If you don't know, it's a race car arcade. So you get to race F1 cars with your friends. Things I liked about it, it had a very adult vibe to it, very sophisticated for an arcade. Love that. Things I didn't is that it was pretty loud, just as loud, if not louder than a Dave & Buster's. Kind of had a club-esque feel to it. That might be okay for corporate events, but just for like a casual night out with friends, it was a little much. Also, if you're not into F1, then you're probably gonna have a better time at more of a traditional arcade or even a vintage arcade, like a pinball arcade, than this. The cars are actually really hard to control on the screen. They make it much more realistic. There is like newbie levels that you can play, but if you're not really into car racing, then I would probably say skip the experience. Next day was Cotswolds, and I'll have a video either out already or coming out that'll kind of show you what I did for the day, but had a really amazing time. Really recommend getting out there. Surprisingly, it was my first time out there out in the country, and I really enjoyed it. It was cold though, really cold. That's kind of the theme of this trip. Like, don't go to London in February if you're afraid of the cold, and that's me. Next day really revolved around going to Phantom Peak in the evening. Phantom Peak is a interactive escape room-esque experience, although if you like escape rooms, I don't think it's for sure that you're going to like Phantom Peak. It's an immersive world where you kind of like walk around and interact with characters and solve puzzles. It's kind of the best way I can describe it. Tickets for it are very reasonable. We got ours on sale. I think they were actually in like the $30 spectrum, 30 pound spectrum, I believe. Normally I think maybe they're around like 50 pounds or so. All of that is really a good deal for what you're getting. You're getting about 4 hours of entertainment. I can't recommend that place though. I had been on my bucket list forever, and it really pains me to say that I can't recommend it because I had such high expectations for it, and where it fell short for me is the bridge between British and American humor that I have never really understood. There were several parts in the storyline that we were doing, several different storylines that you can do, although you have no idea which one you're doing. But I know that there's a lot of different storylines that you can do. But the storyline that we did involved at one point, like, we essentially sent a chimp to his death in like space. And there was a lot of like weird, twisted, I don't even know what to call it, but there's just like some non-tasteful humor that I would say like put into it, and I just didn't really get it. It just was lost on me personally. If you really enjoy British TV shows and British comedians, then you'll probably actually really like it and love it. It just wasn't quite for me, but the concept is very cool. So that was like the next day. For a final day, we actually spent the day at the Imperial War Museum. That wasn't my personal pick, but I do like British museums. They're all free. So if you get a chance and you like museums, then London is definitely the place for it, because you can just go into any of them for free. The Imperial War Museum was multiple floors, really big, and had a lot of amazing exhibits. It wasn't like the best museum I've ever been in, mainly because the exhibits kind of wind around in like odd ways, and so it's hard to make sure that you have read everything, seen everything. Also, the plaques were kind of like small, and there was a lot of them. So if you really like reading about things and going in depth, that's definitely the museum for you. Finished the evening with a Sunday roast, like there's any other way. And so that kind of brings us full circle on the London week. I promised you a opinion on what it was like staying in the South Bank. So I'm gonna give you two opinions. One, I don't suspect that I will be back into the UK or London in February. It was just too cold. Everywhere we went was cold. I walked around with my coat 80 to 90% of the time indoors, let alone outdoors. So I lived in my coat while I was over there. I just was never warm. Places aren't quite as heated as thoroughly as they are here. People are probably just more tough over there, I'm almost gonna say. I don't know. Maybe it's just my thin Florida blood. I couldn't take it. I was cold the whole time. So my recommendation is don't go in February if you can avoid it. And next is the fact that I probably wouldn't stay on the South Bank again, except if it's your first trip to London and you are really looking forward to doing all of the big touristy things that are on the South Bank. That includes the London Eye and the London Dungeons are over there. The London Aquarium is over there. So it might be a good option if you're going on a family trip and you want something central around all of those. We stayed near the Waterloo station, which is a huge station. However, it did feel like it wasn't very like central. We had to get a train to go pretty well anywhere, and that's not really how I've experienced it in the past. The number one complaint I have about staying on the South Bank is the fact that there's not enough food there. It's a very residential area that we stayed, and although there was restaurants, they just weren't as abundant as I would expect for such a long trip. If you were there for 3 or 4 days, then you probably wouldn't get too bored, but there's definitely better, more numerous options in other parts of London. So not bad, but not great. There's other places that I would recommend more, particularly like Covent Gardens. I really enjoyed my stay in that area. So take that for what it's worth. I'd love to hear where your favorite place to stay in London is. Maybe I'll stay there next time I go. I definitely will be going back sometime in the future. So subscribe for that if you'd like. Thanks for joining me for another video dreamer. Until next time, bye.